Sometimes I watch a new movie and see a familiar-looking face, but once I see the credits, I realize, wait, that's the same person. Actors change so much between the years we see them on screen. Some of them change so much that there is no way you may have recognized them. There are 20 Black Hollywood stars now, over 70 who have been in show business for most of their lives. Today, let's honor their talent by looking into their lives and how much they've changed over the years. Before we hop into the time machine, make sure to click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to stay updated on everything going on in Black Hollywood. Now let's go on a stroll down memory lane. Let's start it off with someone as big as their voice. Diana Ross established herself as a household name. She has one of the most decorated music careers of all time. Her Acer kicked off when she was singing with the Supremes in the 1960s, and from there onward, she launched her independent career. She also had an acting talent which she displayed when starring in films like What Diana Ross is Most Popular For. Besides her amazing voice is her solidarity with the LGBT community during the HIV/AIDS crisis. She performed at many Pride events and has become a cult classic to the community, hailing her as one of their icons. Clarence Paul gave him the name Stevie Wonder, and he stuck with it. Stevie Wonder is one of the greatest influences of what we call soul and R&B today. His talent established him as being way above his peers, at his ability to craft beautiful music that spoke to the masses, winning him multiple Grammy Awards for Album of the Year. And to think he did it all blind. Too excited to come into the world and make great music, Stevie was born premature, which resulted in blindness. He learned to play multiple instruments at a relatively young age. He was a musical child prodigy. People loved Stevie Wonder because even with that beautiful, soulful music, he chose to fill his lyrics with depth and substance. His honest and philosophical writing about Black life spoke to many people, especially during the 70s when so much about race and power in America was changing. He's still doing special performances to this day. In 2023, he performed with Smokey and Chris at the Grammys. You know who Samuel L. Jackson is, because they put him in everything. I'm not even sure that something is allowed to be, call it an action film, without him in it. His ability to balance comedy and deeply gruesome and attention-grabbing action caught audiences off guard. And when the industry recognized this, they capitalized on it. He soon became one of those actors that you want for the acting, but also for his voice. He has an iconic rasp and unforgettable cadence about the way he speaks. In any role he plays, he's basically just playing himself. Maybe for other actors that's a bore, but for him and him only, it's a gift that keeps on giving. We loved him in Pulp Fiction, and we love him in the Marvel movies too. Gitchy Gitchy Yaya Dada, no, not the 2000s version by Christina Aguilera, that's Patti LaBelle's song. Lady Marmalade was the song that caught LaBelle, the three-woman band, its claim to fame. However, a lot of people don't remember that this song was released in the 1960s because the popularized version is a sample from the 2000s. But that's how you know for sure a song is good. It was hot in the 60s, and with very little modification, it was a hit in the 2000s too. Her girl group changed the way pop music is perceived in America forever. She's still making music and performing shows to this day. At the beginning of every movie or show that wants to sound intense, important, educated, and stylish is probably the deep and crystal clear voice of Morgan Freeman. When asked why Morgan Freeman is the staple voice of storytelling, Times responded that it was because they know he will always deliver on being, well, Morgan Freeman. And that's all they want from him. His career is still booming and busy today with more shows and films worked on than I have the time to count. Quincy Jones produced Michael Jackson's all-time best-selling album, Thriller. He was also the first African American to hold a top executive position at a major American record label. He gave us a thriller For that, we should be eternally grateful. Keeping it in the Jones family, James Earl Jones is one of the most successful actors in Hollywood of all time. Like Morgan Freeman, James is one of those actors with a voice you want to hear in everything. His most popular roles are as Mufasa in Lion King and as Darth Vader. Any character he plays becomes immediately unforgettable. Danny Glover is a man of many talents, a sensation on the screen and an activist on the scene. He makes sure that no matter how small his part is, you will not forget that he played it. You probably remember him from the original The Color Purple film and Death at a Funeral. In between acting and in recent years, Danny has dedicated himself to speaking and taking action for the civil rights movement. His most popular role was as Boy Willie in The Piano Lesson, a film that received good reviews from critics. He was also in the television series Rock. He abruptly stopped acting in 2015. The reason isn't widely known. Beverly was the first African-American woman to appear in Vogue in 1974. She's also famous for something called the Beverly Johnson Rule. The rule states that at least 2 black professionals must be interviewed for each job opening, including for the board, and that's how she runs her business. Smokey Robinson, a popular American singer, is well known for his velvety falsetto and mastery of lyrical verse. He led a musical revolution called the Motown sound, something you'll note that a lot of artists on this list are associated with. Motown sound is an upbeat, pop-influenced style of rhythms and blues associated with the city of Detroit. Many black artists of the 1950s who were born in Detroit employ this sound in the music they make. He continues to put on shows and sing his heart out to this day. Pam was a 1970s pop culture icon. From early in her career, she was typecasted to be a seductive and tough-shelled character. These films are commonly referred to as blaxploitation classics, with titles such as Coffee, Foxy Brown, and Sheba Baby. These films were considered exploitative as they fed on the desire for blacker cinema after the Black Panthers by making lower quality, hypersexualized, and usually more violent films. They portray the African American community at its worst and glorify drug use and violence. Carl Weathers, who would be 76 years old now, passed away on the 1st of February 2024. Reports state that the cause of death was atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. His boxing rival, who soon became his friend, Sylvester Stallone, shared his condolences on Instagram Live saying, "I'm so torn up, I can't even tell you. I'm just trying to hold it in because Carl Weathers was such an intricate part of my life, my success, everything about it. I give him incredible credit and kudos because when we walked into that room and I saw him for the first time, I saw greatness. But I didn't realize how great. Carl Weathers was an action film icon and a boxing legend as well. He will be missed." Berry Gordy, along with Smokey Robinson, led the way for the Motown sound. As a producer and writer, he made music with a unique gospel and R&B blend of influences to create the iconic sound that would be associated with Motown. He is honored for his contributions at the Motown Museum. Bill Cosby was a television sensation of the early 90s. After being released from jail for his crimes in 2021, Bill has seen little more success in his career. Instead, he has faced more allegations for crimes he allegedly committed during the height of his fame. His most popular role was as Lando Calrissian in the Star Wars franchise, and he appeared in other critically acclaimed films over the years. Rumors have spread that Billy D. Williams will be releasing his tell-all memoir in 2024. It is titled, What Have We Here? We'll just have to wait to see if he actually does release it. Delroy Lindo is another classic action film actor. He is in a lot more films than you may have noticed him in, but the films would never be the same without him. His most popular role was in The Good Fight. Lindo is one of the most underrated actors of his caliber. Despite his highly decorated track record with 12 award winnings over the years of his career, his name is hardly mentioned in circles of classic film aficionados. The academies acknowledge him, but he has yet to get the level of public recognition a man with his talent and skill deserves. Currently, he is working on an adaptation of Neil Gaiman's Anansi Boy, where he will be playing Mr. Nancy. Robert Hooks hasn't been in the casting scene for a while now, but his most popular role was Reeve Scott in Hurry Sundown, as well as his roles in Star Trek and Trouble Man. If you have watched any African-American comedy from the year 2000 to 2002, you have probably seen Loretta Devine glowing with a kindly smile somewhere on your screen. She consistently contributed to African-American comedy projects in Black Hollywood and would sometimes take on more serious roles. However, what we remember most is her role in Medea, First Sunday, and This Christmas. Although she doesn't do quite as many projects anymore, seeing her on screen was a pretty good guarantee that you were going to get a good laugh out. Debbie Allen won a Golden Globe for her role in the series Fame in the 1980s and the Motown 25th. Currently, she voices the character Myrtie in the Proud Family Kids show. Click on the video on the screen to learn more about Black Hollywood stars from another one of our videos. Do you remember these stars? Comment down below who you recognize and what movie or television show you remember them from.